Life, Love, and Lipstick.
Hey guys, welcome to Life, Love, and Lipstick. I'm Tracy Lynn and the beautiful Lesley Stewart here. How are you?
Tracy, I'm doing well today. Thanks. A little stressy, but I'm okay.
Yeah, talk about that, eh? Like, we're going to get right into it. I mean, cheers that it's, the beginning of another week, the
Yep.
end of a month as well coming up.
Mhm.
But the weather. I don't
Mhm.
know if you felt the effects of the weather. I had a headache, couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, so I hear. You poor girl. So you're
Yeah.
you're one of those people that suffer from migraines.
Yes.
Oh,
So it was triggered this week.
yeah.
Then we have a full moon,
Yes.
which I think everybody is feeling the effects of the full moon.
Which my son called a blueberry moon. I've heard of a blue moon, but he called it a
Oh,
blueberry moon or something. So I don't know.
maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. And then, of course, we're in lockdown. We're in the gray in our
Yes.
neck of the woods.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I feel like it's been nothing but like 50 shades of gray because we can't
Yep.
do this and we can do that. There's been
Mhm.
changes. It's just
Mhm.
been all over the place.
Yeah, you know what? It's tough. It's tough. I think what is bothering people a lot right now too is it's just that constant unknown, right?
Mhm.
When we kind of think we're getting somewhere, and even with the weather, and we know this time of year is like that, but it just compounds it, right? It's like warm and then freezing. You wake up to flurries, right, and then again the lockdown, and you just don't know
Mhm.
really kind of anything. You can't really count on anything.
No, you can't. I mean, and that seems to be the theme lately. There's just the unpredicted, like just everything is so unpredictable. And
Yeah.
then, we being moms trying to balance the day out, get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Tough.
there's always something, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm
There's
feeling, I know I'm trying to deep breathe lately. I'm just like this morning, it's just like just a mess of things. And
Yep.
you realize your body's just, that buzz you get when you're
Mhm.
stressed. You're like,
Yes.
okay, I need to stop.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to take a deep
Yeah.
breath.
Yeah.
We have lots to get to. So stick around, guys. It's Life, Love, and Lipstick.
Life, Love, and Lipstick.
Welcome back to Life, Love, and Lipstick. Let's get right to it. The headlines and what people are talking about.
Mhm.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Okay. So Justin Bieber has a new tattoo. He has many, a lot.
A lot. I don't
And
know how
so
he has room for that, but
I know, but apparently he does have some rules. But the latest one is after his favorite song on his new album called Peaches. So he put a peach on his neck. And his mom, did you see his mom commented on social media?
yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
when is it gonna stop, basically?
Right. And last week he said that his rule is that he will not tattoo his hands because he
Yes.
wants to wear a suit or wear a shirt so that it covers up his tattoos and you can't see that he has them.
Right.
But yet put the peach on his neck.
Right. So you can see that coming out the top of a shirt.
Yeah. Well, doesn't the peach emoji mean like a booty?
Yeah, it's your booty.
Yeah. Like
But the song is not about booty.
no.
But yes, it does. And it's a peach. You can look it up online. It's right there.
It's right there. And Adam Levine actually got a tattoo last week. Now, talk about someone who has hardly any room left
No
for
kidding.
a tattoo. He got
Right.
like a whole like leg sleeve.
Oh, he did.
Yes, like his
So that'd be
whole
like a
leg.
legging.
Yeah, like, but it's half a legging.
One legging.
It's a legging. So big question today, Lesley. Do you have any tattoos?
You know what? I don't. I don't have
I
any.
don't either.
You don't either. Okay. I had
No.
a feeling you didn't. I thought about it in high school, which probably I'm sure everybody has.
Yeah.
And it was going to be I don't know, I can't remember what culture and what language it was written in, but it was the word one from U2's song One back in the
Yes.
day. And I thought that means something to me. I love U2. I will always love U2. And I do. I still love them. But I didn't do it because I thought I would regret it. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. See, I'm very indecisive. I could never decide
right.
what I wanted.
Mhm.
And now lately I have been thinking about getting a tattoo.
Really?
And then it's like, well, I don't really want to sit through the pain because I don't like to self-inflict pain.
Right.
And two, again, I'm very indecisive. And I worry that if I get a word
Mhm.
that maybe in a couple years or down the road,
Yep.
that it won't look like that anymore or have that word. It would just kind of, because skin changes.
It does.
Remember when the tattoo on the back,
Yeah, the lower back. The lower back.
was
Yeah.
huge.
Yep.
Everyone had
Yep.
the stamp.
Yes.
what it was called. And then you got it when you were younger, but then when you had a baby,
Yeah.
you could not have the epidural.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That was a big thing because
That was a
that
huge
was
thing.
all our younger era. That's when people got those.
When we used to wear the low-rise jeans,
Yes.
right? It was on trend to show your stamp at the back.
Right. And some people did them around their belly buttons too. And then to picture that being pregnant.
And then going through the quarantine 15,
Yeah.
the
And then
sunshine and the rays
right.
definitely would not look like that. So that's my fear, that when I get today, it won't look like that later on. And then,
or the word just goes out of style, or it's like faux pas.
yeah, like, do I want to believe in what?
Right.
Like, have faith. Oh my gosh. Like, I just don't know.
I know.
It is something that I've always thought about. And I think about it all the time. I'm like, whoa, that would be really cool. I see girlfriends that get little tattoos, like little small ones
Right.
on their foot or on the inside of their wrist.
The wrist. Yeah. The wrist one seems to be common, but
I think it would hurt.
Yeah, it does. I remember. So in school, I loved art in high school, and my girlfriend asked me to draw a dolphin for her because she was all about dolphins.
Oh.
And she said, "Can you draw my tattoo for me? And then I'll take it to the artist and the tattoo artist and get it to put on." And she got it on top of her foot. And she said it hurt because there wasn't any muscle really there to protect.
Yes.
So it's like skin to bone, basically. She said that really, really hurt. But I know down the road, she kind of regretted it because she was wearing high heels and a nice dress. She had this like dolphin smacked on the top of her foot, which was really cute when you're 16, but not when you're 35.
Older. And then, then there's different rules. Now, what do you think of Kourtney Kardashian and Megan Fox? Have you seen their boyfriends?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were at the UFC, the big fight over the weekend.
Right.
Actually, I'm channeling my inner Megan Fox today. I put the red lips.
You look.
I did the middle part to make myself look young.
Yeah.
So you look at their boyfriends and they have face tattoos.
Yes.
We know Post Malone has his face tattoos.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's a tough.
And
you know what?
These women, and they're going out with these men that have these tattoos all over their face, which great. I mean, if that's what they like, but
sure.
I couldn't imagine doing a face tattoo.
I would never think, as I say, like anything crawling kind of up the neck, and I think, it's unfair, but there is sometimes a stigma around that, right? There shouldn't be, but people kind of judge people when they have tattoos, even though you and I are talking how pretty much probably everybody in the world has thought about getting a tattoo.
Yes.
And it depends where it is, I think, too.
Where it is. Right.
Yeah.
So back in my day, you ever see the guy that had the flames up his neck?
Yes.
Yeah. Or the band, the bicep band.
Well, they had the tribal bands. So where the girls were doing the stamp on the lower back, the guys were doing the tribal bands around their bicep. Right?
Yes.
Same kind of era.
A particular kind of type of guy that was doing it.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
The ones where they're pretty much just going to, well, like again, at the time, it was usually the jerks that were doing it. And you would tell, well, I was being polite about it. There was a different word that we use, but you know what? You would say to your girlfriend, stay away from that guy. He has like that tattoo, and that usually represents.
Isn't that weird though? But kind of true. I know. And the thing is, I know there's probably people listening right now that are we're not trying to hate on people who have tattoos or anything, because we both probably have so many friends who have them. And even my brother has a maple leaf over his chest.
Yes.
So no one sees it ever. I actually forgot.
I love tattoos. I mean, I do.
I do too.
I'm so indecisive. I don't know what I would get.
I know. Or where would you put it? That's the thing. For me in high school, I kept wanting to hide it. And I thought, well, what's the point?
Right? Just like I would hide piercings that I would get on my ear.
Yeah, I had a bunch on my ear too.
But that never worked out. But yes, no, I'm very indecisive. Hey, kudos to the Biebs for getting a big peach on his neck. Now, making another headline. Oh my gosh, this one.
This one's interesting.
Are you ready for this? Okay, Prince William is the sexiest bald guy in the world now.
Nope.
This is just over 17 million comments were made through Google saying that he was the sexiest bald guy.
It's because he's a prince.
I don't know. I think we've been in a pandemic and a lockdown way too long if they're thinking that is a sexy bald guy.
You know what? I'm sorry, but I used to think he was kind of cute when he was younger and he had his kind of flowing blonde locks on top. Remember,
Yes,
he was kind of
the
cute. Back then.
tips. Remember the
Yeah.
frosted tips almost.
Right. And then I totally switched over to Harry, and I've always thought Harry was super cute.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sorry. In my opinion, I don't think he's the sexiest bald guy. There are other sexy bald guys.
Yes. And before we get to the list, I think Mike Tyson came in second. There was quite a few. The one person which did not make the list was Dwayne Johnson, who he is having fun with this, to me, he is a bald guy.
Oh, he's a handsome dude.
Yeah. Prince William is a balding guy, right? There's a difference.
You know what? That's actually a very good point, Tracy. Yeah,
exactly.
They're in transition.
There's sexy bald, right? Yeah. Then there's, you had no choice but to go bald. And then there's balding, where you don't want to accept the fact that you are losing hair. So you try to do your hair a different way. But Prince William is not even attempting to make his hair look any different.
No, I agree. He's not.
Horseshoe thing.
Right. And you know what? And some people just somehow have the perfect shaped head. Yeah. And the way everything on their face is spaced out perfectly, they can just go shave their head. And so there are a lot of guys walking around that have buzzed heads that don't even need to, right? Like, but they do. And you know what? They look amazing. So
they look really good, but I'm just so shocked. And this is why I started thinking maybe we have been in a pandemic and a lockdown for too long. And, not being around other people, not being socially active, meaning not being in front of other people. I have no idea, but Prince William, come on.
No, I don't. I think it's just because he's a prince. If you've watched Bridgerton, it's like, why would you have a duke if you could have a prince?
Exactly. Have you watched that?
I'm kind of, I started, put it away for a while, and now I revisited it, and I'm into it now. I'm good. I'm into it.
Okay. So I've wanted to start watching it, but I just haven't had a chance to, but I heard it's very, it's very much like, as I said at the top of the show, like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's some, yep. Oh, it is. There's like, because there's almost they go back to the old brothel style a little bit. So it's very prim and proper in some areas. And then, sex always surfaces. Yes. It's one thing that's been around no matter what, in every culture, every century, sex is there.
Yes. And I mean, that's one of the common things that I hear every woman is saying, no, it's really, really good. You have to watch it. I mean, the actors in there, they're gorgeous, they're beautiful, but there's no bald person in there.
No, they actually have excessive amounts of hair because it's the time where the guys have the big chop burns. Yes. And it's very full. So it's really hard to find a good looking guy. And ironically, the only guy that's actually, I find stunning in it is the Duke. And he's this like black guy, bald. And he's like, his hair's, kind of goes between being a little bit longer. And he's got it going on. Yeah.
So, okay. I think I'm going to have to check that one out.
Yes.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I'm looking for something that will keep my attention.
Yeah. At first it couldn't keep my attention, but then it did. And then you just have to let it roll because they are speaking in their, aristocrat English, and it's sometimes hard to understand what they're saying. Yeah. And you have to get into that time period. And then, it's actually a beautiful show.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I actually have been watching a few movies here and there this past weekend and just trying to get caught up on some different series, but it was my attention span. Nothing's really like gravitating to it.
I know, I get it.
Just like when I watch Prince William, I don't have the attention span to really, I'm going to go back to that one. I still can't believe he's ranked as the sexiest bald guy.
I think, what it is. I think he's almost, he's almost, as the English would say, turned to be a little horsey, like his dad. So he looks more like his father. And he's kind of not as handsome as he used to be. So he's not pulling off the bald thing as well either.
I think that if he is going to be the sexiest bald guy, then he should probably shave his head and be bald and not have like just the top part.
Yeah,
like,
own it.
Really thin on the top, and he tries to make it like blending it in, but it doesn't work.
Well, Harry's starting to get it a little bit too, at the back.
Yes.
At the top.
Yeah. And you know what? I just don't know why men can't just, say, hey, I'm losing my hair and embrace it.
You know what? I think it's easy for us to say, but can you imagine And all of a sudden you've got to
No.
make that decision to buzz your head, and you probably, and I know I would look horrible with a buzzed head. So that's a big one. That's a big one to own.
But The Rock he's very upset. I mean, he was making fun of this. I mean, he was poking fun at the fact that he was not on the list, which I think everybody is shocked because when you look at this list, you're like, okay. And then, like, as I said, Mike Tyson came in second.
No.
I mean, he's known for his face tattoo.
Exactly. But he is not an attractive man in my eyes. I just don't think he is. I mean, The Rock is.
I don't know where they're getting their facts when it comes to this.
I know there are so many men that are bald that are good looking.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Love to or not.
Yeah, definitely not. So as I said, I think that people have been in lockdown in a pandemic for way too long. Now switching gears, let's talk about Dolly Parton's ice cream.
Oh, she's
Strawberry and pretzel.
Yes.
She's like a common person that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, we love this
on this show. She had the cold sweater shirts come back into style. Now she has her ice cream. Now, Lesley, if you could create an ice cream that would represent you, I mean, she did strawberry and pretzel, such a unique mix, but sweet and salty, I guess.
Yes, that's what she was going after, right? I don't know. For me, I don't know what I would call it, but I'm a dark chocolate, caramel, and pecans.
Ooh.
I love that kind of combo. And maybe throw a little vanilla in there to break it up, but that's just, I mean, I think that exists. It's kind of like turtles a little bit, but
I'm the same. I like chocolate and, vanilla and chocolate, but I think I would add some Pop Rocks in there because I think that kind of represents me. Like you think you're getting one thing and then the next thing it's like, bam, bam, right in your face. Expect the unexpected when I'm having a conversation with you, right?
And that would be wild because I don't think there's an ice cream out there that is what you described. So
no, and I don't like Pop Rocks.
I
hate that feeling in my mouth. But I feel like that would represent me.
It does. Yeah, I don't know. My ice cream actually represents me. It's just what I like.
I know. I mean, hey, ice cream is ice cream. I'll eat anything, actually, to be honest with you. I love my ice cream, especially when you're sitting down watching your show.
Yeah, it's dangerous though.
Very much. Very, very dangerous. Well, we got to go to another break, but stick around. Life, Love, and Lipstick. We'll be right back.
Life, Love, and Lipstick.
Welcome back to Life, Love, and Lipstick with Lesley Stewart and myself, Tracy Lynn. Well, here's an interesting stat. Over half of Ontarians say that they aren't very happy with their sex life right now.
Oh, that's sad. And the fact that they did it on Ontarians.
I know.
You know what I think it is? I think that we have such a long winter. We need vitamin D to survive. I think we're all depressed because of all of that. I mean, that combination, locking us all down, locking down people, as we've talked before, with relationships maybe that weren't so great. And now you have to spend extra time together.
Yeah. And, vitamin D in many forms. Yeah. Right? Vitamin D. And that's the issue what's happening right now.
Yes.
So a new study released its results at this newest poll that asking Canadians about everything from sex, romance, and it turns out that Ontarians' sex life could use some work. That's pretty sad because 55% of Ontarians are reporting that they are not very happy with their current sex lives. 55%.
Wow, that's high. But you know what, though? That's about the same stats as the divorce rate. If you think about it, almost exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, divorces on the rise because this has been a crazy year. We've mentioned it before. And you even said to me how people are cheating. The stats just on cheating. And I'm thinking, I thought we were supposed to be 6 feet apart or you're supposed to be at home with your person.
Right. So how is that happening? People are breaking the rules.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I think that would be terrifying to be trying to do online dating and actually physically going and meeting somebody new right now, or the past year while COVID is also present.
I know.
It's already scary enough.
Well, yeah. And then there was the STI rate. It was rampant and it was so bad amongst adults, like older adults, that actually it was antibiotic resistant. Yeah. I know.
That?
Like, what's everyone doing? I guess everything.
Out of their minds, right? I mean, you know how you're walking around, you kind of feel like you're in a fog for the past year. You know,
Yes.
we kind of keep going back to this because we're all living in this COVID thing right now, right?
Yeah.
And we do. I half the time I swore it was almost May, and it's still March. It is still March. I mean, the weather teases us, right? But
oh, for sure. And it does play a role in your mood. So like getting into the mood. And that's another thing that I read this weekend, how women, females, they're not in the mood. They don't feel like it because, well, I mean, I know for myself, like I've gained a little bit of weight, all because, I pretty much just gave up, but that was my mentality. You couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to the gym. I was limited to what I had at the time. And then trying to go and find gym stuff for your home. Yeah, right. Couldn't do that. Being depressed. Women are saying that they're depressed. They don't feel the connection between their brain and their vagina.
Right. And, you know, and we have a guest coming up on Thursday's show, where we talk to a naturopathic doctor about hormones. So we know that this affects. So, you know, we're not eating well, we're not sleeping well because we're stressed. If we're not getting enough vitamin D, which is such a crucial vitamin, then our hormones are impacted. Then you gain that hormonal weight, right? Or you're gaining weight just because you're eating a box of cookies and your diet's all off. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things at play here over the last year. That's a long time. It's not a 2-week vacation where you're gaining weight.
I know at first it was like, oh, yay, we're getting a nap. Like I just know for myself, I was like, oh my God, finally I can have a nap because I was working very long days. It was catching up to me. I was tired. I was stressed, but now it was like, okay, this will just be a couple of weeks and then we'll be back to normal. Yeah. At 365-day March. And, you know,
and we're still in the unknown.
We're still in the unknown. And I just thought that stat, and men were actually saying the same thing, that they didn't feel that they were attractive enough, or they felt good about themselves, because even though most of them don't talk about their little weight gain, or maybe they're balding, or there's just changes in their body, right? They were feeling the same way. So when you have two people in a relationship, how do you bring the sexy back?
You know what? And it really is valid. People need to feel good about themselves to want to, I mean, it absolutely is at play. And of course it's going to impact men as well. If they're not feeling, you know, I'm sure like those guys walking around with 6-packs are feeling sexy all the time. Even though it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that, but we do need to feel good about ourselves to really want to be affectionate with somebody.
Yeah, well, despite that 55% or 51%, 61% of Ontarians reported that they're still having sex weekly. So that's good.
Weekly. Would you ever be
once a week?
Would you ever? I know that's not good. That's not how it should.
No wonder everyone's miserable.
Well, and you know what? Some people actually schedule their time.
Really?
Down. Yes, I've heard this many times, where people will schedule their sexy time, because that's it. Just then they know they can count on it. But how? Like that is not.
Nothing ever goes according to plan. And you and I both know that, meaning just with like a regular schedule. But I couldn't imagine being like, okay, it's Wednesday night. I need to shave my legs.
Yep. Let's go.
I have to prep.
Right. Like,
put something sexy on. Sexy does not happen with the flip of a switch.
No, but you know what? It depends what some people think sexy. Some people think, a pair of oversized track pants and, are sexy.
Well, then I'm on fleek then.
Right? You are fleek.
That's my track pants.
But it is. Sometimes it is. I mean, if you're sometimes you just have sexy and you don't have to try that hard.
No, but I don't think that it should be scheduled. I think that it has to be spontaneous. And then of course there's the lead up to it.
Yes.
Lead up. And there's certain things that just don't turn a woman on.
Yeah. We've kind of alluded to that in the past. Like, you can't treat we can go both ways, but I mean, if we talk about men, you can't treat a woman like dirt and boss her around and be, and then expect it, because we shut off like a switch.
So you could be in the mood and then be one thing and you're like, no, I'm done.
Shut down.
You're not getting it tonight.
True. And it's a phenomenon in itself, but it really is true. I mean, there obviously needs to be that love and like toward for that person. It's not just the act.
I know. And they're saying, so it increased stress this past year in relationships overall, but men tend to feel this more than women. So it was 27% versus 18% when it came to stress. Which I found very interesting, that little stat. But so Toronto sexpert, Dr. Jess, she has a few ways to get into the mood. And one of them is I schedule that time.
Yeah.
But she also has a book, and I read it over the pandemic.
Did you?
I did. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Seduction and Foreplay.
Oh, wow. You're brushing up on your, that's a pretty big book there, Tracy.
I know. There's a lot to know.
Yeah. So did you learn a lot?
Yeah. I mean, I did. I mean, stuff you already know, right?
Right. But maybe a good reminder.
Yes. And then you forget about the whole connection. And if you're not good with yourself, and I, like I said, that song, the neck bone's connected to the whatever bone, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If your brain and your mentality and you're not clear, and if you don't feel good about yourself, that is connected to your vagina. 100%. And if they are not in sync, it just doesn't, it's a waste of time.
I I've wished I could be a guy for a day to feel
really,
or maybe longer, maybe a week or two, because I want to know if they have that same connection. I know we believe they don't, but I like to give them a little more credit sometimes, because there are some really solid, good men out there that have, a nice balance of emotions and feelings and all that. And I wonder, I feel like they would have that too, where they can be disconnected as well. I know we all just think they're just the animal, right? And they will just do the act as a physical act. But I do believe there's got to be some men, it's just the real good ones that just have those feelings that maybe disconnect too, and just don't want it because they're not into you.
Yeah. Well, then there's the thing. Like, if you're just not into your partner, I mean, people will be like, no, but I love my significant other, but they're missing that. They're missing that. And I think that is a huge part of a relationship, right? Some people, and in some relationships, they don't even have that. Like, they're not doing that.
They're basically like roommates, but they get along in every other way, right? And there's something really great about the relationship, except they are missing that because they're not friends. Yeah.
I don't know. I think you have to be connected on so many different levels, because honestly, we'll put it out there. You can sleep with anybody you want.
Sure.
Right. Sure. And sometimes it's just either like, whatever, or it's mind blowing because you're so connected.
And that's where I think that comes from, is that connection. And really, like, I'm just a sap for this stuff, but real love. Like, I really, truly, it needs to be real love. Like, I've just never been into that, just connect with somebody. And like, it's just, I just don't think it's cool, but that's my opinion.
No, and I 110% believe in true love, because I think that's how you get that connection. And that is when, when you can connect on so many different levels, it brings that experience.
It's wow. Actually, if you hadn't had that yet, where you've really found true love and then you get it, it's like, oh my gosh, what have I been missing? I didn't even know this really truly existed.
I didn't even know there was a button there.
Right. Exactly. It's like, it is like all encompassing, right? This person takes over your brain and you didn't even know you had room to think about them 24/7, but you do.
And when we talk about the bedroom, there are different levels of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Which, as
love
I said,
and passion.
Yeah, love it. And I think it's such an incredible experience. And then, it comes to this next thing, where Canadians are ranked as some of the world's saddest and most anxious people.
And it's all tied together with that, I'm sure.
Well, they're not having sex. They're not happy with their spouse.
Right.
Of course. They're going to be sad.
Well, and again, I think it's all just interconnected. I mean, it goes back to, anxiety, depression, and it comes with anxiety. And, we just keep going back to not having a lot of natural light and sunshine for months and months and months at a time, being in lockdown. I think they're all just go hand in hand. It's just a tough time right now.
It is a tough time. And then, like I said, we're back into the gray zone. So we're taking a step back. So if you're not with somebody, who makes you smile, or you look forward to hearing from them, it does make it very difficult. And of course, I can understand that would make somebody very sad. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I think it's very sad that people are just not connecting on that level. I mean, that's a whole other show too. That's probably a
Yeah, it is.
podcast show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Deeper in that.
Yes. To get deeper in that.
Yeah. Dr. Jess, she dives into all of that, talks about the connection and the power that you have between you and your partner. And that's what makes it the good, like, you're best friends, but yet you are everything. It gets on every level.
And it does exist. And when you know it, you know it. And
yes, it goes in with the whole finding love after.
Yeah.
Right? You thought you were in love with somebody.
Yes.
And then you find that person and you're like, whoa, so this is it.
This is it.
That wasn't.
Right.
Yes.
And so it is nice to know, like, for people who are feeling like they're stuck right now or in a rut in their relationship, it does exist.
Yeah.
And I know it's not easy to find, but when you do, as you say, when you do find it, you know it.
Yeah. And I think it's Cher that sings, "Do you believe in life after love?" I in my mind, I sound really good.
I know, but that's okay. You do.
I had to get the beat going there, but I wasn't quite there yet.
I love when you sing to us, Tracy. It's like,
I love it. But yeah, that song is so true. I actually heard it the other day on the radio. Yep. And on my song list, actually, it was on a random thing. And I'm like, yes, I do believe it does happen. And it feels good. So
it does feel good.
If Cher can say that, because I mean, she's the person that says you really don't even need a man.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've talked about this before. It's better to be without one if it's really bad, but if it's really good, it's better to have one.
it can be really, really good. And definitely good when you can smile about it and you get to enjoy life and you're not part of that percentage that is miserable and unhappy.
Yeah.
Maybe just for other reasons because the day didn't go well, but that's okay.
Like Kanye and Kim Kardashian. I mean, I think we kind of saw the writing on the wall a long time ago.
Yeah.
But who are we to know? We're not in their house with them. But I mean, just looking at their personalities and things just don't work out.
Money can't buy love, that's for sure.
No, it cannot. Or control.
No.
Cannot buy love either.
No, but the only thing we can control is at this quick break. We'll be quick and then we'll be right back.
Life, Love, and Lipstick. Welcome back to Life, Love, and Lipstick. Let's continue this conversation. It's been quite the talk today. A little bit of everything. You know what?
Who knew how we're feeling right now?
When I brought up 50 Shades of Grey at the beginning, that I just meant that as my mood. 50 Shades of Grey, because I feel like that's just one way to describe it with our zone that we're in.
Yeah, it's true. Right? People are struggling. And so people, as we know, right from a year ago, when everything locked down, people started day drinking like they were on vacation. Because as you said, remember they told us we were going to be closed down for 2 weeks and then it became longer and it was going to be it was a couple of months of darkness. Remember April and May were like nothing. And people were drinking during the day and like it was like free time.
Well, see, and I know for myself, I was done my first shift. I would be home by around 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30. But my shift started at 5 a.m.
Sure.
So that was technically my lunch.
That's your midday.
That's my midday. Well, normally I would be going to an office right after, but when I was coming home, kids were still asleep. There really wasn't much happening in the house.
Yeah, because you have teenagers.
Like, okay, well, you know what? It's technically my lunch. I'm gonna have a glass of wine with my eggs.
See?
Right?
Wow. And there you go. But that's what started happening. Remember they said that the stats were astounding with the alcohol sales at the LCBO and
my gosh. Right? We complained about waiting in lines at the grocery store, but yet we would wait in the line at the LCBO.
Oh, around the building.
Yes.
Right?
In the cold.
Because it was freezing.
Yeah. So this thing called I guess it's #WineMom.
Yes.
It's not like, hey, look at me. I'm a mom and I'm drinking wine.
Right.
Not only the stats have gone up, but women, moms, posting their wine, posting their drinks. I know I post mine. I do. But I for one, I don't feel like I have a problem, but
Right.
this is a huge issue because moms are now saying they're in addiction mode right now.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
waking up and wanting it. They can't function.
Mhm.
And maybe it's just women or a
Mhm.
person in general, male or female, but they
Sure.
can't function now with their day
Mhm.
without having a drink.
I think alcohol is highly addictive, and pretend also if you have a more addictive personality,
Yeah.
anything like that, and it becomes habit forms very quickly, right?
Mhm.
Again, you're not used to this. Everybody's lives just went upside down. So all of a sudden, yeah, you're starting to drink. You get that, I guess, that little buzz. It helps you get through your day. You wake up, I want to feel like that again.
Mhm.
And you can see how that could become very, very dangerous on a daily
Yep.
basis.
They're saying the pandemic and
Mm.
functioning alcoholics.
Yes.
That's what people have learned.
Oof.
I can still function after having a couple glasses of
Sure.
whichever your drink of choice is.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's pretty scary when you think about it.
It
I mean,
is.
we weren't going anywhere, so there was no need to get into a car.
Right. Right. So
But
people were just drinking and just, and especially, moms who are, taking care of their kids or
Mhm.
dads, right? And things can get missed. That's obviously why we don't drink and drive, because you were
Yes.
not in your full proper functioning state of mind.
Yeah. I
Scary.
mean, I didn't drink that much when I turned 19, listen, we all did the same thing. We
Mhm,
went to the
mhm,
bar,
mhm,
you
mhm.
drank. Mine was broken down golf carts. I don't know if you remember that drink.
Yeah, I know of it. What is that?
I think it's vodka.
Oh,
They're in there. I don't know. Whatever this one thing that was in there, it's making my mouth water because I drank way too many. And I remember having to get the cab to pull over. Now this is January, like a -40 weather.
oh, yeah,
Way too many.
yes.
We all had that one alcohol that we just can't do, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of people have tequila stories, right?
Yes.
Because
Oh,
they
actually, I'm
usually,
quite enjoying tequila at this stage in my life. I've never had it
yeah.
before.
See, there you go.
Um,
If you drink
yeah,
it again in moderation, you're okay because
yeah,
you
in
can enjoy it.
moderation.
You're not
But
chugging it back in shots.
yes, but when I was of age, when I first started, I didn't really drink a lot.
Right.
I
No.
got married, I had
Yeah.
babies. I really was just not much of a drinker. I did, however, start drinking more
Mhm.
when I went through my divorce.
And you hear that, right? You hear that.
Yeah.
One of my, a really good friend of mine, I remember we both had young babies, and she was going through same thing, like a separation. And she called me one time. She said, I can't believe it, but I'm drinking alone. And that was the first time she'd ever had a drink alone. All right. And it was became, and I looked at her and I said, oh my gosh, you know what? I am too. Right. And it was this like, and that's not it, it shouldn't be your
Mhm.
crutch, right? But I mean, drink it straight from the bottle.
Drinking
That's not good.
alone is a bad thing because sometimes you just need that peace and quiet, and you enjoy your
Yeah.
whichever drink it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it gets to that point, it's the mind frame too,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it is.
Um,
And it's
but
actually a depressant. People
I
think it's
know.
lifting you, but it actually is depressing.
I know, and I've been reading the stats on this because, I
Yeah.
mean, I do enjoy my wine. I am a wine drinker. I've
Mhm.
had to go to a low sugar wine because wine waste is legit.
It's
That
real.
thing is real.
Yeah.
Like we can say hormones all we want.
It's
It's probably the
wine.
wine that gave me this waste.
Wine and ice cream will give you that muffin top in a
You
heartbeat.
know, wine and Dolly Parton. See? But yeah, anyway, this is a huge thing right now.
Mhm.
They're saying that women or moms were glorifying drinking.
I can see that.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
saying if you can't have a drink, and a lot of women now are realizing this and they are getting help.
Mhm.
And they have noticed that, geez, during this pandemic, maybe I shouldn't be drinking this early in the morning. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I have a drink all the time. When
Right.
this first started, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like,
And
okay,
you know
well, now
what?
what?
I mean, and let's face it, it is not good for you. There's nothing good about it. It's not healthy at all, right? And it
Yeah.
can really affect all parts of your body, and not just your weight, but really,
Your face and your skin, it
dehydration.
dehydrates you.
Yeah, it affects, your liver metabolism, all that, right? I mean, it gets into some really bad stuff. We know that. I mean, I think all of us have known of people passing away at very young ages from alcoholism, from just drinking too much. Like your body
Yeah.
can only, it's like basically poison. So,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So we
Yeah.
have to just be careful.
So big thing. There's some scary truths about this whole wine mom thing. I
Mhm.
thought when I saw it, I'm like, oh, wine mom. Well, that's fun. That I'm a wine mom. But then when I read it, I'm like, Oh my God, maybe not so much. Maybe I'm not a wine mom.
No.
Very
Not
scary
elements
though.
of that one. No.
Very scary. But when we look back at what this pandemic has done, when we
Yeah.
look at the bigger picture, we've already talked about the stats when it comes to sex lives, cheating,
Yeah.
people's
It's
mentality.
well, and you know what? And that's the one thing I think a lot of people are talking about right now is, we talk about the COVID numbers, right? And I don't want to get too political here, but we hear about the COVID stats all the time, but we're not hearing about the mental health stats or the suicide rates, because on the news, you can't talk about suicides. But unfortunately, there are a lot. People are struggling and having a really hard time. But, and that's where we struggle with seeing, how far can we keep shutting businesses down and losing our small businesses, and people's mental health. I mean, people are broke and they're struggling, and this is where it's going down a dark
and
path.
we're self-soothing in ways that aren't good. We're filling those voids, right? Which is really hard. And and that's, I mean, this has been, it's been a show. I mean, all our shows we talk about, it's ourself, right? And the things that we go through. And as females, if you're going through the makeup, the breakup, the whatever is left in it, the self-care, the finding yourself or finding love for yourself. Man, that's hard. And we talk about that not only here on the radio, but on our podcasts. And we talk about, just the effects of life, hormones, all this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have that connection. What happens? What happens then?
Yeah, there's a lot at play. And I think the older you get, the more you realize how complicated your life can be and how complex our bodies are and how one little thing can trigger a whole bunch of things. And right now we're just under a lot. And we're not, I know for anyone listening, we're not trying to be depressing here, but it's just real, right? Like that we're all going through it. I think it helps to hear that.
And that's why I can't decide on what tattoo to get, because I am not in the right mind frame
No.
to do this. Even if I was to write pandemic, across your arm in that really fine print, it will look like a line eventually, or look like something else that it's not meant to be.
Where would you get your tattoo if you were going to get one? Do you even know the location?
No.
No.
Because I sometimes think, on my wrist.
Yeah.
Then I'll think, maybe in another spot where nobody will see it.
Because if it's small enough, I mean, the wrist ones are kind of cute. I do admit, when I've seen a couple girls at yoga and stuff with their little wrist ones, they look cute. Just, on the inside there. And, you can get it removed depending on what color tones you use. Apparently some colors are more.
Why would I want to get it removed if I invested in putting it on?
I don't know, because then at least you can change your mind down the road.
I'm just going to order those stick-on ones. Actually, you know what? Quickly, I did do that one year. The Sons of Anarchy. It was their finale. So another couple and I, the four of us, we got together and we had to dress up like somebody from a character from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And I went as Wendy, and I went to the dollar store and bought tattoos, and I had tattoos all over my neck, everywhere she had it.
Nice.
Dollar store tattoos do not come off, because I had to tape the next day, and I had to wear a turtleneck and wear it so that it would cover my sleeve, like all the way down my hands, because it didn't come off.
Good thing you didn't do a face tattoo.
I know. And actually you could see a flame or a skull coming out of my neck from one of them. Oh, it was hilarious. But
I used dollar store Halloween makeup once, and I was dressed up as a witch, and I put green on, and it started burning my skin like acid. I went to the shower and it did not come off either. I had green skin for a while. So,
oh my gosh.
The dollar store doesn't for many things, but nothing that you're topical on your skin.
No. So we've learned a few things today. We've learned that we probably will love Dolly Parton's new ice cream. Yep. We're probably not ever going to get a tattoo anytime soon. Prince William, well, he is definitely not the sexiest bald guy that we know or we can think of.
No.
And
and everyone's
bedroom.
Yeah, struggling in the bedrooms in their homes, depressed in Ontario. To get out of this pandemic.
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. That's me too.
Everybody needs some good vitamin D every once in a while. But that is it for us pretty much.
Yeah, we have we love to invite our listeners and viewers to reach out to us, right, Trace, and let us know, like, if there's a topic you want to talk about, something that's really like interesting for you, or if you want to be eventually a guest on our podcast as well. We love that, because we love to touch on everything that's topical right now.
Yeah, And maybe just let us know that we're not the only ones feeling like this. I know our moods, our talk goes up and down like our moods, but yeah, again, we're in the same boat as everybody else. And these stats, hey, we've all been there at some point in our life, no matter, we get it, we understand, right? So that's pretty much it. But you can definitely follow us on all social platforms, connect with us, as Lesley said, and, you know, maybe be a guest on our show. Let's talk. Tell us what you want to talk about.
We have lots to talk about. It's endless. So please join us.
Yes, it's always endless, isn't it? But I still can't get over this Prince William thing. I think this is going to be on my mind for the next week.
You know what? I'm going to go through a list of other men in my head that, you know, that I know are bald men that are like way more attractive than Prince William.
Remember, there's bald, there's balding.
Yes.
And you just need to admit that there's some hair loss there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
and that's okay.
It's all good. Hey, hey, my hair falls out too. So
it happens. It happens to the best of us, right?
And so that is it for us. So thanks, Life, Love, and Lipstick. Thanks, Lesley. I hope you have a great week.
Thanks. You too, Tracy. Be
Bye,
safe,
guys.
Bye.
Life, Love, and Lipstick.